Today I will be going out to the Taiwan International Orchid Show, which is about an hour away from ICC Tainan, where the World Orchid Conference is being held. And so there is a shuttle bus out to, I think it's called the Taiwan Technological Orchid Park. So after about an hour on the bus, I have made it to the Taiwan International Orchid Show, which is put on by the Taiwan Orchid Growers Association. And this is being held at the same time as the World Orchid Conference. And this show will also go on 2 weeks after the conference is over. And I am really excited to see it. All right, the whole orchid store is here too. Okay, all that sound is school tour going in, trying to go around. And then, oh yes, here's the gigantic orchid wall that I've seen everybody taking photos in front of. It is really big. And also here for the show, the lights are all turned off. It is very dark in here. All right, there are definitely more Phalaenopsis here than you can shake a stick at. There's like a wonderland of Phalaenopsis. Huge number of them. Also very crowded. I've come late enough that this entire place is filled with mist. They have misters going on, school tours, people. They've used some bandas and rhodantharia to make this sort of temple-like construction. Pretty cool, very pretty. All right, I had to stop earlier because there are a lot of people in here and almost impossible to walk. I don't know if you can hear the tour guides are already hoarse from shouting. It's very loud in here. And I'm having a hard time moving around because people are literally just stopping to have their pictures taken in front of the big expanses of flowers. And so, you know, I'm trying not to step into people. So, of course, I'm now stopping and people are having to avoid me. And there's these, I don't know if you can see that. See, there's these foggers going off. There's like mist everywhere. It's quite an experience. Definitely very different so far from the World Orchid Conference, which really had a lot more variety to it than what I'm seeing here. It's very more monolithically Phalaenopsis. All right, so now finally making it out of the first area to pass a lawn of Oncidiums. Oh, this is Oncidiums as bedding plants. Fake axe, rhodantharia. Oh, I should call it an Oncidium meadow, my sister says. An Oncidium meadow. All right. If orchids could be wildflowers making a prairie, this is what it would look like. Pausing from time to time so I'm not in people's pictures. This is pretty psychedelic and the music is very loud. On the other side, there's another big giant round of Phalaenopsis. There's got to be like a million Phalaenopsis plants in each of these things. They're huge. And then once again, we have some flags of the world. There's Phalaenopsis flowers. The giant aerial displays of Phalaenopsis and Vandas are back here at the TIOS show as well. And here's a giant wall of Vandas with some poppy, very loud music. All right, I don't know what this is. Is this supposed to be a soup where some of the things look like creatures? I don't know that I would want to eat something that had faces. And then it's surrounded by more of the flags of the world on Phalaenopsis all the way around. And yes, it's very dark in here in spots. They have spotlights, fog machines. Here's another yellow overhang. And here's an arbor of purple and white. Looks like a mix of Phalaenopsis and Vandas. This place, the show is much more like a garden show. All right, so the arbor continues into this sort of gigantic ceiling of orchids that everybody is walking very slowly through. So I can't go too fast in case I slam into people. You can see everybody very carefully walking through. All right, the crowd has moved on so that I can also continue. They have lights that are fading in and out in this section, so it gets lighter and darker and lighter and darker as you're moving. All right, there are actually mirrors on the side. Mirrors the entire walk. So this, as my sister says, is much more like an actual home and garden show. How to integrate orchids into your everyday life. Imagine your house if you could cover every surface with orchids. The table, the sides, like in the kitchen, on every surface. Here's a bedroom. If you were in an orchid jungle. Orchids on top of your dresser. Orchids on your vanity.
Sleep under orchids.
Yes, if you're sleeping under orchids. 2 bedrooms, a very luxurious orchid sleeping place. Here's a better look at the orchid bedroom without so many people posing for pictures. Very difficult to get video here. Lots of orchid posing going on. So if you want to camp with orchids, or perhaps glamping, as we like to call it. Here's an orchid tree, orchid tents, decorated with orchid. There's an oncidium tree over here. Put that oncidium tree. All right, in this sort of flower and garden area, there are 5 Phalaenopsis here that have little tags, but I'm not sure if these were bench judged or not. And then behind them are these sort of flower arrangements, some having orchids, some just having things like butterflies. People are posing in front of all of them. That looks like a swing of orchids, a fan of orchids. Here are some more orchids that have those tags on them. Again, I don't know if these were part of the bench judging They're obviously very well grown. And then more orchid art, flower arrangements. Because here's a whole bunch of oncidium and then some, I think, plastic straws making flowers. I kid you not, there are people who have brought like cameras on stands and now they are posing inside the camping display for their pictures with the orchids. So this is definitely set up for people to take as many photos of themselves with the setup as possible. Okay, again over here, we have more of those orchids that have those tags on them. And this is the tag I'm talking about. Let's see, let's come one close. These tags right here. Like this goes to this really well arranged green. And they're just sort of placed around the scene here. And it makes me feel like these might have been the bench-judged Phalaenopsis that didn't place. I don't see any ribbons. I do see things that are similar to what I saw at the World Orchid Conference judging, like this one, well patterned, or this one. I love the contrast on this. So you can see there's some more over there. Look at this table that has been made here. So they've got sort of orchids displayed around it. But then there's this table. Maybe it's like a tea table. Has like an actual water feature. Runs out, fog, drink, tea, the live flowing table. More orchids in your life. I think supposed to be like another sort of kitchen setup right here. People are definitely in there getting their picture taken. This right here is almost like a fence, right? If you're walking down a country road, a fence, then you come upon someone's flower beds right there. Or you come over to this, I don't know. Oh, it's a children's room because I'm thinking it's really confused. It's got both a tent. Oh, but it's like a ball pit right there. And then it's got a bed with a stuffed dog on it. My children need flowers. I'm pretty sure that my children do not want flowers in any way. But then, right in front of the exhibit display, they have more of these that have the tags on them. So I think these are the competition Phalaenopsis. All right, over here is another display, or I don't know, I guess it's supposed to be an office. There's like a computer table on it. Yep, maybe it's an office. For a minute, I thought it might be a checkout counter where you're supposed to buy things, but I think this is supposed to be an office. I would really like to have an office like this. It would be a joy to work. All these orchids around me. And my office would have a fountain filled with epidendrums and twinkles. Oh, and a cattleya. Phalaenopsis. All right, last one. This is called the lobby. I guess we would call this the foyer, unless most homes have a lobby. Oh, they have vanilla in the lobby. You see the vanilla right here? Hanging down, and then, oh, I guess it would be like a lobby of a hotel. You'd have seating, and then orchids everywhere. And there's my sister. All right, here we have what they're calling the study. Fake books, some very large inflorescences. I know there's no orchids on it, but I love that tea table with the water. But I definitely have a water feature addiction. So after you come out of the first exhibit hall, there are displays outside, as well as what looks to be a large sort of garden area. And I am terribly amused by this fountain of a teapot. Right, there's a little kid. He's holding a toy phone just like people hold their cell phones. It is so hilarious. But here are the various exhibits out here. I guess these must be the exhibit competition. I have no idea. This is like the mansion. There's very little English. This is called Reverse Wind Through the Ages. This one with Paphiopedilum and some rectangles is called Sweet Orchid Enchantment. And then this one went over here, which looks like it has paintings, is called Ancient Fragrance of Southern City. This one with the blue dyed orchids is called Flow of Time. I like how they tell you that's a dendrobium down there. But this is called Exquisite Sweetness of Orchids. This here is the gold medal winning exhibit. It's called Orchid Mansion. And not a lot of variety, but very pretty. Gold medal winner. This exhibit is called The Power of the Ancient Orchid Charm. This one has a purple ribbon that says Trophy Award. And it is called Direction of Salt. This very elaborate one, also with blue painted orchids, also has a trophy award. I can't get in front of it because people, of course, are having their pictures taken. And this is called Glorious Orchid in the Bloom-Filled Ancient City. Definitely ancient. This is called Southern Embrace of Orchid. It's right next to Moon City Joyful Achievement. Interesting background. And then this right here is Graceful Dance of the Black Face Spoonbill. So there's your spoonbill, and it's dancing above the orchids. This one is called Orchid Rhythm in Time and Space. This one is also listed with a purple ribbon saying Trophy Award. And it's called Classy Tune of Simplicity and Antiquity. And it has what looks to be grammatophyllums, the only grammatophyllums I've seen so far this trip. This is called Admiration for Taiwan's Orchids. This is listed as the silver medal winner, and it is called Fireworks Salute to Floral Rhythms. This last one here has a bronze medal and is listed as Melody of Bamboo Everlasting. Bronze medal exhibit. Just sort of as filler advertisement, in case you didn't know, the Asia Pacific Orchid Conference will be here in 2025. There's a lot of orchids just to kind of decorate the place. This, I kid you not, is the food court. Also vigorously decorated with orchids. All right, they have some huge fans going on in here. You can feel the breeze. This is actually now, I guess, an art exhibition. So yes, there's orchid art. We've stopped for a tea break, and my sister had a bag. And do you know what this is? This is jewel orchid tea. Nectacalis formosanus. They've ground it up and turned it into tea. I can't believe my sister has orchid tea. This is kind of a little awful. So there are these little like wagons, these carts with sort of orchids, decorations. Here, kind of hard to see because the sun's setting in that direction. Is an I love Tainan sign. More orchid carts. See just like a good dozen of these orchid carts. There's really more Phalaenopsis here. It gets kind of numbing, right? I mean, there's just so many of them. You know, it's the same like if you just had hundreds of azalea bushes in bloom. The Phalaenopsis, I mean, those competition ones are really special, but these sort of bedding ones, you're just like, oh, it's another Phalaenopsis. Another Phalaenopsis. So of course, we could never do this in the States. Archway here. Just have Phalaenopsis hanging upside down. Some strange decorations with orchids sticking out of it over there. And then I'm walking under the archway now. And that's live music. It's actually two live singers singing behind. Just walk underneath here. Orchids to either side. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Maybe it's just a welcome sign. Something to do with salt. Looks like people are doing something with salt on the sign that is completely in Chinese and I can't read it. But they have demoed. I don't know if that's actually salt or it's sand. That's a lot of salt if it's just for decoration. But they have bedded orchids around it. Demonstrate something. And yes, it really is salt. Real salt. There's another giant sort of garden display of orchids here. And they're just, you know, got pot plants, mostly Phalaenopsis, a few dendrobiums right there. They have put a pink orchid store here on the side of the building. Maybe it's trying to get up to reach those orchids. They're in the windows. I guess this must be a performance space. But yes, there's even more orchid decoration here and people are posing in front of things with orchids. These are not competition plants though. I still haven't found any of the plants here that were awarded. I don't know where they are. It's just all like, you know, displays of orchids. Oh look, an oncidium, very nicely arranged. And hey, Cattleya. Been a dearth of anything besides Phalaenopsis. Oh, I know what they're doing here. This must be where you can make like an orchid arrangement and take it home. See, there's like work tables. But look at this side. All right. I think those are supposed to be bags of rice in a cart, a wagon. This is a pergola, maybe? A table. I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to represent. And even more decorative phalaenopsis. So those aren't painted, that's just white phalaenopsis with lights. So I never did find any awarded plants, and it's possible that they have already gone home, because we did see a whole area that was basically being taken down. They had like the labels that said things like phalaenopsis and oncidiums and whatever, and they were being taken down. So that is my tour of the Taiwan International Orchid Show.